Okay guys, welcome. This is my taffy project that I'm doing. We're going to be learning about Tourette's today because it's very important to me. I have Tourette's, and so I want to educate the future teachers of this classroom about Tourette's, how it works, and because I think it would be really important. So just make sure you have your Chromebook, pencil, and your partner table group. Okay, raise your hand if you know what Tourette's is or if you're familiar with the term. Where have we heard about it? Have you heard about it on social media? Okay, it's really important that you go into this with most things that you see on social media are incorrect and not true. So activity time. So I need 2 volunteers. And you want to go? You and Macy? Okay. So okay, y'all ready? 3, 2, 1. So with that activity in mind, I hope y'all can get an understanding of like these uncontrolled movements can be hard with doing like random challenges, just daily activities. Y'all, basics of Tourette's. Now we're just gonna learn a little bit of basics. What is ticking? So tics is an involuntary movement, quick repetitive movements or sound. It's the main symptom of Tourette's, which there are other symptoms of Tourette's, which we'll get into. It can either be vocal or motor. Vocal meaning it's with your voice, whether it's like yelling or like saying a word. It can be complex or simple. Simple tics is blinking, shrugging, shrieking, head jerking, just like these quick little subtle movements. Complex tics is like you're jumping, you're touching your nose, cursing, echoing words of others. But complex tics are way more rare than simple tics. Coprolalia is what you'll probably see on TikTok. Coprolalia is a main symptom of Tourette's where you curse or use words or hand gestures with inappropriate connotations. Only 1/10 of people with Tourette's have this. Now, only 1 in 100 people have diagnosed Tourette's. So 1/10 of those people with Tourette's have coprolalia. So it is really, really rare. So here's like the tic disorders, because Tourette's isn't the only disorder that has tics. There's Tourette's, which is when you have vocal tics and motor tics for over a year, and you have to be diagnosed under you're 18. Provisional it can also be described as transient tic disorder, and that's where you have tics for maybe a little bit of portion of your life, and that's mainly when kids are little, like elementary school age, and then they tend to like go away. Persistent is whether you have either vocal or motor tics for over a year, and it's just that one tic. It can't be both. How does Tourette's work, like in your brain? So it's neurological, meaning it deals with your nerves, so that's not a mental or physical disorder, just like ADHD. ADHD is a neurological disorder. Scientists believe that the neurotransmitters, which is like what releases dopamine and other chemicals in your brain, aren't able to communicate with your nerves. So it's just like, it's the sending false signals through your neurotransmitters, whether it's like dopamine or serotonin, and that's what creates the movements, scientists believe. Now, the basal ganglia is what is in your brain, and it's sending false signals to different parts of your body through the neurotransmitters. On this topic, tics can be triggered by emotion, scientists aren't really sure about how that works, but with the dopamine and serotonin, since like dopamine is like happiness, it could be like too much of a release of dopamine, at least that's what scientists think. People may be able to suppress their ticking, which we'll get into, and co-occurring conditions, which is like what I said with the other symptoms of Tourette's. Suppressing is holding it in, a tic, or postponing it. It feels like you're holding your breath or having a staring contest. So like, it's not controlling the movements exactly, it's just kind of like postponing them. That's why a lot of people don't know I have Tourette's, is because like I'm suppressing and it's almost like holding my muscles all day, so people don't normally see me have tics. If you were a balloon and your breath was like holding in your tics, it would be like you're holding and holding and holding. Eventually the balloon's gonna like pop and it's all gonna let go and all your tics are gonna come out. So that's kind of like what suppressing is. Co-occurring conditions is kind of like the other symptoms. Most common co-occurring conditions in Tourette's is ADHD and OCD, which can often cause more impairment than the tic itself. So just having Tourette's, tics isn't the only problem. Because if you have ADHD or OCD, which OCD is not a cleaning disorder, so what other things might be hard for people with Tourette's? Turn and talk. Okay, anyone like to share? Driving?
Maybe like getting a job. Or like just holding a job.
Yeah.
Focusing in school.
Oh, these are all great ones. I'm actually so glad y'all came up with these. Okay, so bullying is a huge issue. It's actually the #1 issue that a survey of people with Tourette's said. Huge issue for people with Tourette's. The condition is very misunderstood, which is like why I'm educating you guys today. Whether it's just in your like high school careers or if you want to be a teacher, people with Tourette's syndrome, TS is Tourette's syndrome, get bullied way more than people without Tourette's syndrome. So surveys say, how can we fix this? There are always going to be mean people in the world and throughout your life, but bringing awareness about the condition and educating people about what's true and what's fake will make a difference. And I've seen it even just telling you guys, I hope this helps you guys, and even just educating, whether it's like my little brother or other teachers that I'm telling them like, hey, I have Tourette's. It does make a huge difference. Other problems, tics hurting. Tics do hurt a lot. I have back problems because my tic's doing like this. A lot of people have just different chronic problems because of their tics. Obviously, it's not like the main problem, but it is a problem. Social media stereotypes. Every day I get asked, do you curse? Do you curse? I don't. It's people on social media you've probably seen making stuff up about Tourette's and faking their Tourette's. And especially during the time on social media when Tourette's was like cool and funny and like everyone wanted to have that. Frustration, whether it's just like writing something down and I drop my pencil, that like 1 second, like it's just the cherry on top of a bad day. How we can help. Education, like I'm doing right now, supporting people with Tourette's syndrome, and that can even just be simple as telling them like, hey, that's it, like it's okay you have Tourette's, like I'm so friends with you. Can you drive? This is kind of what Macy said. Yes, but it varies. For me, I can drive, but there's a possibility for me taking, so you are more at risk of a car crash. Technically, legally, you can. Do tics affect sports? Yes, it's going to make it harder, but for the most part, it will not affect whether you can do the sport or not. This kind of goes along with the job, just because it does affect like daily life, and a lot of employers and people like that don't really know much about it, and don't want their business to like slow down. Okay, let's see what you know. So everyone stand up. We're doing a true and false activity just to get you prepared for your independent practice. True, and this side of the room with the board is going to be false. Just a couple quick questions. True or false? Most people with Tourette's curse or use inappropriate language. True or false? It's a false. That is false. True or false? Medication can help people with Tourette's. True or false? If you have tics, then you have Tourette's. True or false? See a little mix here. So this is actually false. If you tic, you can have other tic disorders like transient tic disorder and persistent tic disorder. Next, most people most commonly have complex tics, which is like the jumping, touching your nose, cursing kind of stuff. True or false? It's false. Okay, so everyone can go back to their seats. We have an independent practice. Don't worry, guys. It's just a quick quiz in Schoology. I just want to see what y'all have learned.
Most of them are quiz.
I can sit.
Okay, guys. Now that everyone's kind of getting like settled with their independent practice, so we're gonna have a quick exit ticket. You can either answer how you will use the information you learned throughout your life, whether it's in teaching or just continuing on in life, or tell one thing that you learned today that you didn't know before. So I'm going to pass these out and then just put your name on them and then answer one of those questions. Okay guys, thank you for listening to me teach. I'm really excited I was really excited to show y'all all of this, and so yeah, thank you for putting in your best effort. So yeah. Yay.